Welcome to another channel update. My name is Nilaus and this is the channel update for sort of my YouTube, Twitch empire, world's smallest empire. Anyway, it's April and sort of middle of the month, so it's time for me to give an update. Why particular today? Because I got, as you all know from the title already, I got some good things to tell you. I got Factorio back on the menu, so why? Yeah, well, the thing is, I've not been tired of Factorio. I've just been running out of ideas, and this is not a request for coming up with new ideas, because you all come up with the same ideas that I've already talked about. So it had to be me who had to come up with something that I found interesting. It is, after all, episode or season number 50 that I'm going to start. So it's going to be starting something new on Twitch and something new on YouTube, and they'll be linked together in the way that I do content now for Dyson program and for Satisfactory, with some design and initial work on Twitch and some rebuild and more structured views or videos here on YouTube. So that's we'll get back to that, get a bit more into detail, but first let's talk a bit about sort of the general things on the channel. As I mentioned, this whole idea of doing sort of something combined between Twitch and YouTube is something that I really like, and I like it for a number of different reasons. One of the things is that the ecosystem here on YouTube and the ecosystem on Twitch, they are very separate, and it is my job as a combined YouTuber streamer to make sure that there is a cross-pollination between those two communities, and I do that by making sure that if you're following here on YouTube and you want a bit more detail on some of the things, or you really like a series and you want sort of, hey, be part of the design process, then come on over to Twitch. And if you are watching on Twitch and maybe you skip some days and you want to catch up, well, there's some more edited, refined YouTube episodes that sort of cover the same ground. It's not rehashing the same content because I replay it again, but it means that we end a YouTube episode at the same place as we end the Twitch episode, but we're gonna go about it in a different way. I love it. I have gotten pretty much only good feedback from it, so I think it's really cool that it allows you to follow the streams and be part of the community there, or if you don't really like that, then you can see the same thing in a more YouTube-ish format here. So hopefully the best of both worlds, and the only penalty or the only cost is that I have to do everything twice, but that's why this is a full-time job for me. Speaking of full-time job, then I want to mention the Patreon, because I have noticed that since I stopped playing Oxygen Not Included, and I also stopped the YouTube series with the Death World and the rocket launching, then I haven't been sort of pushing or integrating my Patreon supporters into my plays, and that has quite significantly reduced the number of Patreons on the channel. So that's of course unfortunate, but this is on me. I have to make sure that you feel that it's worth to support, not anything else. That is my job, to make sure that you feel it's worth it. So what I also want to do is I want to take my new Factorio series and actually do a little twist with some other patrons at least. But it is, the reason why I mention it is because, well, there are three sources of income. There's the Twitch streaming, there's the YouTube ad revenue, and there is the Patreon. And the Patreon is the only one that is actually reliable month to month, because people do have a continuous commitment, while YouTube ad revenue goes all over the place. Sometimes it doesn't go anywhere, and on Twitch it's also just very fickle. So that's why I'm always trying to highlight the Patreon, because it is so important to me and the stability of the channel. So thank you very much for all the people who are choosing to support, and particularly actually the annual supporters. Again, this comes back to this expectation of future revenue. So annual patrons means a lot more. So enough about that. Thank you for all the patrons who are supporting, and then on to other things. Other things, like completely other things. I launched my first non-gaming video, and although it doesn't have like a massive amount of views, it got really, really good traction. So thank you very much everyone for just liking it, sharing your feedback on it. It was a video on motivation, and I just felt I had to get it out there. Now I have like 15 or so other topics that I could potentially make into similar videos. It's not going to be a big thing here on the channel, but it might be sort of a small thing that gets sort of sprinkled in once in a while, just for the hell of it, because I feel I have something to share with you. And it's again kind of the way that if you are part of the Twitch streams, you know I like to go on random rants, and sometimes these rants end up being really well formulated, at least in my mind, and they are very interesting and they resonate with the community. And then if you're not there during that particular stream that evening, then I'm not coming back to it like for months, if ever. But if you are not there and miss that one and you'd like a good rant, so I think that's like kind of the idea, that I will just take those topics and just make a small little video, like 10 minutes or so, and that would be interesting, maybe, hopefully, I don't know. Let me know if you think it's interesting. And if nothing else, then it's still going to be 90% or 95% gaming videos, and then one weird video like this one, or a motivation video once in a while. So I think it's cool, and I really appreciate that you liked it and shared your positive feedback about it. So thank you for that. Let's dive into the gaming, and let's start, of course, with Factorio, the game that brought most of you to the channel. And well, the title says Factorio is back on the menu. So what is it? Let's just cover the basics. I haven't been running a YouTube Let's Play in a couple of months now, and I am surprised that my channel is not dead, which is a super good thing for me personally, that I am not a one-trick pony. Maybe like a 1.5 trick pony, or maybe a 2-trick pony, but still not a 1-trick pony. That's great. So thank you for just sticking around. And I said that it's not because I don't want to do it, it's just that I ran out of ideas and I'm not going to force it because the content will not be good. But I have an idea now. But first, sort of on Twitch, I have this true mega base that I really set up to something big, and it was fun. But unfortunately, it got too tedious. It was difficult to make interesting, both for myself and also for the viewers. I could see that the viewership and not just the viewership, but the engagement in chat was decreasing. And it was more and more sort of all the things around Factorio that was interesting. So it became a bit just chatting, with a bit of just riding back and forth on trains and putting down giant blueprints and laying front lane tracks. And it was just, I was just looking at it and go like, I'm going to have like 200, 300 hours more of this. I can't make this interesting. And I don't want to sort of grind it out. So it's sort of been tapering off, and I've been doing some workshops instead. And that's unfortunately, I'm going to give up on that true megabase. It is one reason and one reason only: lack of interest, both here and there. And with lack of interest, there's really no reason to go like, well, you committed, so you must. It doesn't mean I'm not coming back to it, but honestly, if you take a break and then if you come back, it's going to be something different. So I think we learned a lot of things, and it was super awesome, but I don't think we'd learn a lot more by continuing doing the same thing for 300 more hours. So time to move on. New series is coming, both on YouTube and Twitch, and it's going to be awesome, and I'll tell you just in a second. Just want to mention masterclasses, base reviews. They're going to go more into not a fixed rhythm, but just basically, if I have a good topic for a masterclass, if I have a good base for a base review, then I'm going to pick it up and just throw it at you at any random time that it fits. Having weekly masterclasses, I don't think I have content for it. So when something comes up, or I hear something, I see something, or someone comes up with a good idea, then we're going to bring it up. I have like one thing more about belts, with similarly to what we did to inserters, but there's something more about belts that's upcoming. But aside from that, I don't have like a long backlog of masterclasses, but they'll be there when there's something new and exciting. But keep throwing ideas for masterclasses at me. It is very difficult for me sometimes to know where the gaps are in my masterclasses. And so it's finally time to talk about the new Factorio base, the new Factorio Series. Is one series, two, I don't know. There's one on Twitch and one on YouTube. And what we're going to be playing there is, it started off by me just continuously sort of, there's a slow trickle of people coming to me and go like, do you have an updated base in the book? And I go like, no, I have my masterclasses. Why would you want a base in a book if I have my masterclasses? And yet it still came in, and I can still see the reviews on this very, very old series that's hopefully outdated. And I still get comments on it go like, hey, this doesn't work anymore because blue science requires sulfur. Like, that's how old it is. And I can't remember if that was one of the changes. There was something about blue science at least. So it's really old. And so I thought, you know what, if there is a demand for it, then let me take the masterclass videos and formalize it into a base in a book. But this is going to be a base in a book in the extreme. It's going to serve two purposes. We're talking here on the YouTube series, the end result of this. It is going to, if you are a new player, or maybe just an insecure player that wants to get inspired by some structured design, I'm basically going to have a city block bus base that's going to look something like we've done before, but it will be such that you can get blueprints for each city block at each progression of the base. That means that if you want to build a base together with me, you can stamp down the blueprints, or you can play along and you can use the blueprints. If you're sort of like, okay, I need a city block for green circuits. Well, I have a blueprint for green circuits, and I have one that's sort of the early game, the mid game, the late game, and that should be the idea. What I want to do is I want to make sure that this series here on YouTube will be running for as long as there are Masters and Templars of the Path, that is Patreon, the highest tiers of patrons. That will be sort of, each one of them will get an episode that will be sponsored by them, so that there is a direct sponsorship of an episode by a patron. Of course, there's no extra cost, but you've been super supportive, so I wanted to just say, hey, here's your episode for this not the masterclass, but this episode of the Let's Play. But the idea is also, if you are an experienced player and you maybe have an idea for building a mega base, you want to build hexagons or octagons or pentagons or whatever you want to build your next mega base, but you don't bother with setting up the whole base, then you can take my base in the book and you can stamp down all the blueprints for the end state that delivers a certain number of signs per minute and launches this many rockets and makes modules and beacons and all that stuff, and has train setups, and then you build it in creative mode, for example, in your new base, and then you can get started immediately on your mega basing if that's what you like. So it's going to serve a purpose for both new players and experienced players. The one thing that is going to be difficult with this is actually making sure that the design is super crisp. So like everything has to be positioned exactly right, so that you don't have to override it and move it 2 tiles when you upgrade to blue belts, or those kind of things. And in order for me to do that, then I need a lot of time to do the designs. So I thought, you know what, I can do that on Twitch. I can just do the design part on Twitch, and then I can do more structure on YouTube. And I thought, you know what, just a vanilla series on Twitch, it's going to be too easy. It's just going to be like fidgeting here and there with things. So let's spice it up on Twitch, where I've seen lately that with the whole hype train attraction, there's been a lot of good competition between people in chat, and there's a lot of engagement when there's some kind of extra mechanics for donations and gift subs and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna go all in, because the base in and of itself is pretty simple. It's a vanilla base. It's about sort of building the standard base. And so how do we spice it up? All right, well, every time someone subscribes to the channel, they'll spawn biters at the edge of my vision. So we've had that feature before, and yeah, that's it's getting pretty death worldy very, very quickly, and I have to stay really on top of cleaning them out quite rapidly, so that I don't get overwhelmed at any point. So it's going to be very intense, and that means subscriptions will just keep adding more, and there's going to be a cooldown, so that if someone, I don't know, donates 10 subs, it's not like 10 biter nests spawning right at the edge in the early game. So it's going to be like a timer, a cooldown of 5 minutes before they can spawn again. But if something spawns on a 5-minute cycle, that's insanely fast. So that's going to be super stressful, but it's not going to be it, because we also add an interaction. If someone donates, then it'll spawn a bomb randomly around here, which is basically a small nuke somewhere close to me, and I have 10 seconds to get the hell away, or I have 10 seconds to run over to that chest full of blue circuits and grab them and almost run away and explode. It's just something fun we're experimenting with. And I mean, huge shout out to the usual mod makers, Timbo, Vichu, and Jeff, for just absolutely just diving completely into this and working on it, fixing it, that kind of thing. I mean, it's mainly Timbo who's pulling the weight on this again. So they're just absolutely amazing. Best mods anyone could wish for. Both the moderators and the Factorio mods are the most amazing thing. So huge thank you to them for supporting and being good moderators and making good mods. It's super, super awesome. So that's really what enables me to do this. So that means on Twitch, we're going to have a simple vanilla base, except it's going to be destroyed by people in chat if there's some subs and donations, the usual Twitch thing. And then I'm going to do the designs there, and that means next day I can look at the same base or a similar base, and I can use the designs that we've come up with and then sort of introduce them to you and make the nice crisp blueprints that we need to make for the base in the book version 2. I hope that's interesting, and the best thing is it's starting tonight. So hope you're watching this video right now, because 8 p.m. Central European time on Twitch, be there. Then that's where we're going to start it on the Twitch series, and hopefully tomorrow I can launch the first Factorio series of Base in the Book here on YouTube as well. So I hope you want to be in on this journey, either on Twitch or YouTube. It's going to be sort of the same design, but it's going to be a very different experience. On YouTube, it's going to be clean and crisp designs. On Twitch, it's going to be absolute mayhem, maybe. And then trying for me to make neat designs in this mayhem. So I hope it's going to be interesting, and I hope you want to be part of that journey. And I hope you're happy that Factorio is back on the menu. So let me know. Now, there's a lot of other things going on the channel as well, and I just want to go through it. Right now, I'm also playing Satisfactory. I'm actually playing a ton of Satisfactory, and I've gotten all the way to the end game with tier 8 unlocked. And it's super fun. I mean, every time I play it, I'm super surprised, and I think it's actually because of this combined YouTube Twitch thing that I again do things on Twitch and then I can redo it on YouTube in a more structured way. I love that. It means that the tedium that is sometimes Satisfactory, I've designed my way out of some of it, and also it now has a double value by also sort of making the YouTube episodes much easier. So I'm absolutely loving it. I'm having such a good time. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Twitch, and then the day after here on YouTube. So thank you for following it. I get really good feedback, but again, there isn't a lot of viewers as I would maybe hope, but you know, it is what it is. I really appreciate it. Come join on Twitch if you want to be part of the design and yelling and shouting and having fun, or watch here on YouTube, or do both, or do neither. It's going to continue for as long as there is an interest for me and for you. So this is super awesome. Now I'm just reiterating some of the other games. Evil Genius, I completely abandoned. I did not like that game. It was not fun. I hated it. I hated playing it. I got annoyed with it, and then I'm not going to play it. I just did not have any fun with it. Even trying to record it. I could see the views coming in, and there were some people who liked it. But I actually hated recording it, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to do that. If it doesn't matter if there are views for it. If I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. Right? It actually started by me recording an episode and then figuring out that I have forgotten to press record. It happens sometimes, and then you just go back and do the whole thing again, and it's going to be more crisp. And I was like, no way, I'm not going to play the same thing for 45 minutes. This was absolute torture. So I was like, you know what? That's it. I'm out. I hope you can understand it. I hope you respect my decision. It has to be fun for me, otherwise I can't make good content for you. Good content leads me right into Dyson's program. I'm still on hold. I want to get back, but there has to be something for me to get back in, and I also need an open slot on my streaming calendar to do that. Oxygen Not Included is on hold. I am a bit disappointed with Clay Entertainment. They seem to make the DLC, but then they forgot to hype it. So nothing really is going on there. It's completely forgotten already. No one's playing it. No one's streaming it. Not much YouTube going on. It's pretty dead, and I think that's a shame. I would love to sort of be part of sort of hyping it up, but I mean, I guess it's a dud. It's such a shame. Completely different type of game. I played a bit of God of War yesterday. Love that game. I've also gotten Horizon Zero Dawn, so I'd love to play that as well. Again, streaming schedule is my main constraint, and I'll just have to find a day here and there to play that. But I'm having so much fun with these, and it's not really a core part of the. It's a core part of the community who hangs out for these streams, and I love it. It's not going to be sort of taking a main spot on the channel, but it's going to be something that we'll do sort of once in a while. So thank you for following that. It's super cool that I can also play some of those games I want to play for fun, but it's just more fun streaming it, I think. 2 upcoming games that I just want to mention. Subnautica Below Zero is coming out in mid-May. I'm actually looking at that and going, maybe I should give that a chance. I did have a bad experience with Subnautica, and I think it was partially my expectations, partially the fact that I played it on the 1st of January when I was hungover, and also partially the lack of sort of guidance in the game. I think all of those things will probably be better if I try again. Probably not going to be hungover. I mean, I can probably fix that. And it's probably not going to be, or it is more finished. And what I hear is that there's more guidance. It's still very much exploration. And then having my own mindset that it's not going to be hand holding. It's go to this quest, go to this quest, but it's going to be sort of more free roaming. I think that would be interesting for me to play, but I'd like your thoughts on whether you think that would be a game both that fits for me and that you would like to see here on the channel. So Subnautica Below Zero in May. Also in May, late May, is Warhammer 40K Battlesector. I did get an advanced copy. I played it on stream. Good feedback. It is, my experience with it so far, I played 2 small missions. It was too easy, but that's just something they give in the... If they give a press version, they have to give an easy version because gaming journalists suck. Sorry, that's just the way it is. And therefore it was too easy, but the story was great and it felt really Warhammer 40k and it was going to some of the interesting stuff. So definitely, I want to play it. I hope there's an interest. It's a turn-based tactical game and it plays really well, but it's probably one of those games that you play through the campaign and then go like, that was fun, and then move on. So that's kind of my expectation for that. So that's basically all I have planned. So I do have some things on upcoming. If you know about some, and this is interesting, this is very important, upcoming game. I don't care about games that are already out. Upcoming games that have not released yet that you think might be interesting for my channel. I'd love to hear about them because I found Dyson Sphere Program because you guys recommended it to me. So if you have some suggestions, share them with me, and I'd love to that. I don't care about old games. If I haven't played them, it's because I don't want to play them, so I don't need to suggest it. But let's look forward and see if there's something interesting in the months to come that is something you think would fit to me and you would like to see me play through. So that would be super interesting to get your feedback on that one as well. And that's going to be it. I hope to see you on Twitch for the launch of the new Factorio series. It's going to run Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays as usual, Factorio times, and then the new YouTube series for Factorio will be starting hopefully tomorrow. No promises, but hopefully tomorrow. So keep an eye out and tell all your friends and family and all that, so we can get some more views in on the Factorio. Then I'm coming back from Factorio after a bit of a lull. Then it would be nice to see that it's actually something that's been missed on the channel, or maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on YouTube or Twitch or maybe on Discord. Thanks for watching. As always, stay effective.